And on my first anniversary of being sworn into Parliament, local residents won't be surprised to see me standing up and fighting against Southeastern for them again today. Firstly, on the issue of no consultation, which has been mentioned by several colleagues already, the new Minister is already aware of how frustrated MPs and members of the public are over not being informed of these timetable changes by Southeastern until it was too late. In recent weeks, people in Bexley have experienced two shocks when it comes to transport. Firstly, Southeastern pushing through these changes under the guise of demand-based changes when they clearly go much further. And secondly, the Mayor of London ignoring the wishes of the clear majority of Londoners who rejected his outrageous ULEZ tax raid on drivers now to London. So we've had no consultation on the trains, and then a sham consultation by the Mayor, which will help explain my anger and that of local residents across Bexley. From our previous meetings, the ministers and many members here will be aware that since Southeastern's announcement in late September, I've been running a constituent survey on the timetable changes. The thousands of responses from this survey have highlighted that the most impactful changes are the reduction in Albany Park station services in my constituency, the loss of off-peak Charing Cross services on the Bexleyheath line, as we've heard from colleagues already, and the loss of the loop service on the Sidcup line, which I will talk about in turn. I would like to echo the Right Honourable Member for Bexleyheath and Crayford's comments on the loss of off-peak Charing Cross services and the impact on passengers travelling to the West End for leisure and work. As someone who previously commuted to the city for over a decade from the likes of Welling and Sidcup train stations, I can confirm that the Cannon Street services at these times are of very minimal benefit to local residents and instead will force thousands of passengers to change trains at London Bridge. This is of particular concern given the impact this will have on more vulnerable residents in our communities and the general increase in travel times that they will experience. When summing up, I hope the Minister will at least explain in the short term what support Southeastern is putting in place to help these passengers being forced to change at London Bridge Station. Secondly, the extent of the changes in the new timetable are arguably best reflected by the drastic reduction in Albany Park services, which represent a near 50% reduction, with peak services being reduced from 7 trains per hour to 4 trains per hour, and off-peak services being reduced from 4 trains per hour to 2 trains per hour. This reduction not only leads to concerns of overcrowding and long waits in the event of a cancellation, but has also resulted in the loss of direct services to Lewisham Station, which is used by commuters in Albany Park to both the DLR and Canary Wharf. I have visited this station during the course of my campaign against the timetable changes, and I've seen firsthand how busy the station is, particularly during peak times, Tuesday to Thursday, which I remain concerned are not being fully accounted for in the passenger numbers. Following my raising of these concerns, including with the Minister and Southeastern at our latest meeting with the Right Honourable Member for Bexley and Crayford, I am grateful that Southeastern's commitment to look at the live train loading data for this station on a daily basis, and that they have since visited Albany Park Station to reassess passenger numbers. I would like to request again from the Minister that Southeastern provide the latest peak time passenger numbers and capacity for this station, especially Tuesday to Thursday during peak times. Furthermore, I would be grateful if the Minister could use his position to ask Southeastern again why there is such a significant reduction in trains stopping at Albany Park Station, and to seek assurance over the future of this station, which is frequently used by commuters in a residential area with limited alternative transport connections. There have also been some silly rumours floating around locally that the station is closing. So I hope the Minister will now help put these to bed, these silly rumours, and confirm that no plans are in place to close Albany Park Station. At all meetings, I've also expressed my significant disappointment over the loss of the loop service on the Sidcup line, which is used by many constituents, including for the Elizabeth line, as we've heard already, Charlton athletic fixtures, which haven't been mentioned, and children and parents travelling to school. Again, I am concerned over the data being used by Southeastern to inform this decision, particularly that the time period used to capture passenger numbers does not incorporate the increase in passengers for this service since the Elizabeth line was opened. It would be a huge loss and a shame for residents to lose this connecting service, especially given the 4-year delay and billions it has cost taxpayers and businesses in our area to pay for this new line. I again urge Southeastern to provide more services to Abbey Wood on the Sidcup line especially off-peak and at weekends. Now, as we've heard from honourable colleagues already today, Southeastern have consistently stated that the purpose of the timetable changes has been demand-led and to reduce crossovers in the Lewisham area, thereby improving reliability and reducing delays. I fundamentally disagree with this reasoning, especially given the consistent increase in passenger numbers following the pandemic and because of the £250 million investment in junction works conducted at Lewisham over the last couple of years. These engineering works, which have often required full and partial line closures, have been for the purpose of improving track, signalling and capacity at Lewisham to meet demand, and I quote, for decades ahead. I am frustrated that my constituents have been negatively impacted by regular disruption caused by both union strikes and these works, including a planned 9-day full closure of the Bexleyheath line later this month, only a couple of weeks after the timetable changes. My constituents have tolerated this major disruption to their journeys over the last couple of years on the basis that these works are to meet the demands of the railway today, which is a real kick in the teeth because, in contrast, they are now losing a substantial number of services and the choice of termini to reduce crossovers at Lewisham, the very issue these works were said to address. So I hope the Minister will pick up this issue because I do feel that this could be a massive waste of taxpayers' money that's gone on here, because this should be a good thing for the area, not a bad thing. So to conclude, Mrs Chairman, I would like to emphasise again my disappointment and outrage at the lack of consultation for such drastic changes, which will have a detrimental impact on my constituents and their ability to travel for work, school and leisure. Given that Bexley does not benefit from direct access to the underground, rail services are the principal means of transport into and out of London, as well as for travelling to other areas in the South East. As such, it is vital that our frequency and links to a range of central London stations is preserved, and I therefore continue to call for urgent concessions and reversals to many of these changes being made, particularly ahead of the new timetable in May. Thank you.